tools you're gonna need. You're gonna need probably 3 clamps. You're gonna need a 1/4-inch ratchet. You're gonna need 18 millimeter socket, the tool that comes with the kit for the nut certs. You're gonna need a 11 millimeter socket that goes on the back of the nut cert, a 5/8 inch wrench that will hold the nut cert tool in the center, 7/16 inch wrench, 9/16 inch wrench, some touch-up paint for your color of your Jeep. I have the silver, so silver. You're gonna need a 1/4-inch drill bit, a 25/64 drill bit. These are kind of hard. This one's kind of hard to find, so like an Ace Hardware or a specialty hardware store like Home Depot probably wouldn't have it. Of course, you're gonna need your hardware kit. I got this thing because I bought these transfer punches, but the problem is that the holes are so thin that once you get the tip of the transfer on it, it's kind of this, like, it doesn't really gauge. It's no better than just putting a drill bit up to it. So I got this thing, which is a center drive punch. I'm hoping that this will work better to center it up. Need some glasses for when you're drilling, a drill, and maybe a help from your spouse or one of your friends. Okay, here I've gone ahead and taped up the side of the truck with some painting tape, you know, just to protect the finger flares and paint on the truck. And also, my buddy Jared over at America's Most Wanted 4x4, he gave me a tip and he said, you know, go ahead and take some tape and you know, fold it over. You know, like a little trick when you put, you know, paper up on the wall, you can do this as well with the rocker. Just put these pieces of tape and just kind of fold them over so that, you know, they're sticky on both sides. That'll help it stick onto the side of the truck as well. Alright, now you get the side piece up. You want to make sure that you got a 1/4-inch gap everywhere around on the doors, in the center, and everything. I've got it held up with 2 bar clamps right now, or 2 clamps. What I did is I actually put the piece up on the bottom, held it on there with one screw in the middle for the body mount, and kind of just made sure the holes were lining up and everything looks good. So that was kind of just an extra step I did. Just be careful not to rest at all on this because it's not mounted. So anyways, yeah, just get everything lined up where you want it, and then drill these 2 holes first along with the 2 top on the left. Alright, so now that you get the piece up, get everything, your gaps perfect, you're going to want to punch these center holes. So what I have is a transfer punch, and then this auto aligning punch where it has this the center that comes out in the or the punch that comes out in the center. Looking at it, if you can see this, I'm going to zoom in on this. This is the same diameter as the hole, and I think this is a 5/16 inch center punch or transfer punch. So what you want to do is get it in the center of the hole there, and then you can push it until it contacts the side of the sheet metal, and then if you contact it, you can kind of push it and see how it goes through the center pretty well. Once you get that pretty centered, let's say you're pretty safe to go ahead and make your punch. So once you have that centered, you can go ahead and take your hammer, and I want to go ahead and just make a nice little punch there. And that should be good for there. I'll go ahead and do the same with this side. Let's get that centered. Make sure that's centered too, and then also go back to this one. Go ahead and put it in the center and make sure that's centered still. Since you don't have your my bracket on there, my clamp. It looks pretty good. So go ahead and do this one. Once you get that centered, go ahead and pound her. And then you should have two good holes to drill on. Okay, now that you drill your two small holes down here and your two small holes up there, you want to take a little bit larger bit, your 25/64, and go ahead and drill this out a little bit more, like so that your nut cert can fit in there. Be careful not to drill through the second layer of sheet metal in there, which I made an accident, did it on the front, and we're hoping that nothing else will come of that, but I put some silicone in there to fill up the hole, so hopefully it works. So yeah, go ahead and drill these out a little bit deeper. I'll waller it out just a tad because the nut certs are a little bit tight. So now that you get it a little wallered out, see if your nut cert will fit. It fits, and go ahead and take your nut cert out. What you want to do is take some touch-up paint, which I got at the auto parts store, and matches my Jeep. You can get any Chrysler color at the AutoZone or something. And I don't really think that you need to use the colored part. You can just probably use the clear coat part, which I'm doing. And what you do is just take the clear coat part and just put it around where you drilled. Once you're done with that, you want to let that cure a little bit. I'm going to go ahead to this side since we're already done here. You want to take your 11 millimeter ratchet and your 5/16 inch wrench. You want to take your nut cert tool, and what you want to do, stick your nut cert at the front, going in like that. Go ahead and get it snug, like so. What you want to do is go ahead and insert it. Take your 5/8 wrench, put it on the end. Take your 11 millimeter ratchet, and go ahead and, well, you gotta make sure that's tight before you start. Take that like that, and go ahead and start screwing down. Now don't worry about keeping it real flush right now because it'll suck itself in there. But it's quite a little bit of work. But what would make this a little easier is you could get a impact wrench, like a Makita impact gun, electric drill. But by hand just takes a little time. So you want to keep crunching it down until it gets tight. And what it's doing is it's drawing that nut cert in. It's going to balloon around that sheet metal. Keep going. All right, once you start feeling it get a little tight, you want to make sure you're pushing some pressure against the truck to make it suck in good. Now it's getting a little harder. Now it's sucking itself down. It's getting a little easier. Now it's going to get a lot harder once it gets around that sheet metal, and you want to get, you know, pretty snug. And then go ahead and reverse it, unscrew your nut cert tool, and then should be left with a nice nut cert in there. Alright, well, finally got it on. Got all the So just a few things to voice. Out of all the holes I drilled, only one of them right here didn't line up right, and I had to basically stick the nutsert tool, just the screw by itself in there, and then kind of hammer it up at an angle a little bit because it wasn't even aligned, and not sure how that happened. I think when the nutsert came sucked in, it sucked in kind of lower. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, everything went smooth. This thing is freaking solid. See, I mean, it's a solid piece. You won't have any issues if you get rocks hit up here, or you hit something hits up here or whatnot. I think you're gonna be pretty good. I did have a little bit of a gap up on top, but once I get these powder coated, I'm gonna really push and get that dialed in. But this was just for, you know, finish and just to get it all mocked up. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, so disassemble this, do the other side, and get them powder coated. Thanks for watching.